Let's talk about plans. Planning. Anyway, yeah. One of the most loved questions, if you watch Think Like a Man, or if you've ever dated someone or want to meet their parent, they end up thinking about marriage. One of the most common questions people get asked is, what's your 5-year plan? What's your 10-year plan? What's your 20-year plan? What is your plan? Girls usually say, what's your plan with me? What's your plan relationship? What's your plan in life? This is an interesting question that in most cases people avoid answering, or when they answer they give you an educated response. Oh, my 5-year plan is 5 years I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And when someone is speaking, you can tell from the way they're talking, from their voice, that they're not really confident in what they're saying. And when they do that, then you pick up this person doesn't actually believe in their plan. So today, let's demystify what a plan is. How do we come up with a plan? And what's your plan? So the first thing is with a plan, right? So in a typical fashion in business, how we look at plans is there is the vision, the mission, the goals, and the strategy, then the plan. So in business, you focus more on strategic planning, which is something that I encourage people do in their real life. You want to be strategic about the plans that you have. Your plan has to have a plan that has a plan that has a plan. How do you do this? Well, simple. You start out with a vision. So if you watch most of my videos, I've been speaking about having a 20-year plan for your life, a 50-year plan. Where do you see yourself at the age of 70? And then break it down and bring it back. So it's the same thing when coming up with a plan, so that when people do ask you, what's your 5-year plan, 10-year plan, what you basically have is steps. So what they're asking you is, what are your steps and how will you achieve them, or how do you anticipate on achieving them, and do you actually believe in these plans that you have? So when you have a 50-year plan, you're able to break it down into, okay, if someone says in 5 years, where do you see yourself in 5 years? The truth is, no one really knows what life is going to be like in 5 years. Imagine if 2 years from today, someone asked you what your 5-year plan was. You probably had plans to be traveling. You didn't know that in 2021, traveling will be restricted in many countries. You can't go anywhere internationally, and even locally, you're a bit worried and you have to go through what we're going through, right? So it's very difficult to have a concrete idea of a plan. But what you can have is just an estimation of, based on the work that I'm doing today, I know this will lead me to that, that will lead me to that. So when someone then asks you, where do you see yourself in 5 years? If you ask me, where do you see yourself in 5 years? I see myself having a successful YouTube channel, which is stemmed into a good media company that has grown and sees me in a better position in life of influence, and being able to help a lot of young Africans and young men find their voices, and young women and everybody, and be contributing to that, having become somewhat of an important writer, somewhat of an important, marketer, doing my job and being impactful in society and helping people do their thing. That's where I see myself in 5 years. What's my plan? Start my YouTube channel, create content every week, write a book, distribute it hopefully in those 5 years, out of which my third book being picked up by a publisher and get a distribution deal. I do have a plan to go back to school and learn certain things to be able to speak the vocabulary that the target markets that I'm trying to go for speak. Ooh, sounds like a mouthful. I do plan on getting a girlfriend, a wife, get a child or two in there, because I'm reaching that stage of my life. That's an idea of where I want to be in 5 years. It's not concrete, it's not anything serious, it's not something that I've written down, but what that does, it then gives me a snapshot of creating the plan. So where does my plan come from? It comes from 50 years from now, I see myself being a granddad. So in order to be a granddad in 50 years, I need to have a kid. That type of thing. So then you then break it down back. So when you look in business, it's all about being strategic, but the difference is a business is only set out with one goal: make revenue for the shareholders. Whereas your life is set out with multiple things: be impactful, build a legacy, do this, impact the world, help other people, live beyond yourself, whatever it is your goals are. And then that's where your plans come in, because your plan has to be, a plan is something that takes you to the next step, so that when you reach that step, you're able to come up with a different plan. I used to make this mistake, maybe call it being young. I used to think that life is all about getting to the top of the mountain, but one thing I've learned is it's about getting to the top of the mountain, and once you're on top of the mountain, it's about understanding that you have another step to go, and you have to create another plan. Sometimes it's about getting to the top, sometimes it's about maintaining the position you're in, and then just keeping doing what you've been doing. So that's the one thing. So when we speak about plans, what's your plan? How do I set a plan? You need to have a vision, you need to have a mission, and you need to have goals. So plans are just ways of achieving goals. Your plan is, how do I manage the resources that I have? How do I see things that are about to happen before they happen? How do I do these things? But a lot of people also fall to the trap or become victims of this thing of saying, oh, I'm drafting up my plan, I'm coming up with a plan, which is, in business they'll call it, I'm coming up with a business plan, and you're not starting. There's a difference between execution and plans. You can start executing and planning, because what planning is really about, it's about managing the resources that you have. So in this case, your resources are time, money, your network, the assets, liabilities that you have, and how you tally all those things to help you achieve the goals you set, the strategic goals that you set that help you make the strategic moves. Planning helps to dictate what you have to do tactically every single day. Do I have to work a 9 to 5? When do I have to switch from a 9 to 5 to a 9 to 11? At what point do I switch? At how much money do I need to make in order for me to pivot and do this? You do that in your planning, and then on the side you're also executing. So the best way to come up with plans is through execution. If you want to be a YouTuber, the first thing you want to do is make sure you've recorded, you put your phone on, you have an understanding of, okay, this is what I'm doing. And a lot of times we're like, oh, I'm not a YouTuber because I need a camera. No, you have your phone. If you had your plan, you know, I need my phone, I need to do this. If your message resonates with the people, you'll be successful. What do I have to do? What type of plan do I have to do? So your mind is always thinking, and you always want to put your plans on paper, because once it's on paper, you can focus on it and have an understanding after 5 years, like, oh, this is what I had planned, this is where I made, and you're able to then start measuring your progress, because what you planned and what's reality, the adjustments you need to make in order to come up with a different and better plans. And the good thing about plans in the time we live in now, where life is constantly changing, is your plans can change, but if you have a plan, it gives you guidance to how you can switch your plan. So for example, if your goal was to save 10,000 this year, you are able to make the adjustments that you can. You know, sometimes you'll be like, okay, if I pay these bills, I'm able to save more next month, and then you do that, you make that move instead of staying rigid and moving yourself and allowing yourself to move in ways that you need to move, that ultimately take you to your goal and ultimately help you achieve the things that you set out to achieve. That's how you come up with plans, and that's how you set it up. So the best way to set a plan, if you ask me, it's you need to have an understanding of where you are today. In business, we call this your SWOT analysis. Understand what are your strengths, what are your weaknesses, what are the opportunities, and what are the threats. Once you have that sort of understanding, you want to assess the environment that you operate in. Right now, COVID is a big problem in the world that we live in. We have a lot of legal issues. So in business, that will be your PESTEL model, which is politics, economics, social, technology, economics, and legal states. So you want to look at the environment outside of your control and see what's controlling you and how can you navigate that. And then once you bring that down, once you settle it, you are then able to say, okay, what are my goals? What's the strategic move that I can make based on this thing? What's in my control? I can save X amount of dollars, I can put it in this account, I need to do this research so that I can get this. And so by the end of 2021, I see myself being in this. Okay, and that's how you then start navigating life and seeing it, and that's how you come up with a plan. The hardest part about having a plan is when people ask you, because people don't see what you see and they don't have the experiences that you have, and then they ask you, so what is your plan? And then you're like, because you're not sure. But I think be confident in yourself. Tell them. If someone asks you what's your plan, tell them this is my plan. And some people will give you positive, some people will give you negative. It's down to you, you know. It's your life. You have to know why you're doing what you're doing. I can only suggest things, but at the end of the day, everything that happens, it's down to you guys. With that being said, I just want to take this time and opportunity to say thank you. If you found value in this video, please do like, subscribe, and leave a comment. Peace.